Hello, and welcome to the World War One Tuesdays on Bearded Veteran Creates.
Yeah.
We are currently building, for those that don't know, a MiniArt World War One Austin armored car. I'm making that one.
And I'm making that one.
Hey! And you'll never believe it, John. I'm actually prepared for today's stream.
Well, that makes one of us.
I've actually got some talking points noted down and everything.
Oh.
Ooh, yes. All prepared, all professional today. Not really.
Like you.
Yeah. It helps if the conversation goes a little bit slack. Old slack bladder over there. That's a nice t-shirt, by the way, John.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Yeah. It's sort of like John's hair now versus John's hair when he was younger. I was talking to Brownie from on the Beyond the Box Art last night.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, he seems a nice guy.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Had interesting conversations. How's your day been?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. Realised that I didn't have olive drab, so I went off and bought some, but I didn't get olive drab. I bought another one.
Are you saying you did a Marley with your paints?
No, I got British dark olive, which is a British World War II one. Now, I know this is World War One, but it looked very close to olive. There were 3 shades, and I thought, I'll go that one.
Yeah, because it's your model anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's going to be judging it. Well, we will, and they will in the chat. But yeah, all 9 of them apparently today.
Oh, so well, that's an improvement.
Well, I know, right? let's hope they like it. Gotta get some likes today, haven't we? Ian says, "Ciao tutti."
Ciao
Hello,
tutti. GM says, "G'day, Ian. Ciao tutti." Is that a flavoured Italian ice cream or a new Isetta car?
Tutti frutti.
Così fan tutti. Again, my cousin was in that movie.
Yeah.
A film called Così.
Yeah. Jim says, "Greetings, aerial pillainists and etched metal benders. I've moved the INS and date time continuum to a better time slot so I can get a better view of proceedings." Ha ha ha!
Nice.
Yes. Speaking of which, I figured out what was causing the issue with YouTube setting the wrong times for the live streams.
Go on.
StreamYard hadn't updated to GMT +1.
Yes. You get what you pay for.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it corrected itself last night, so all is good in the hood.
Very good.
Your turn, I believe.
Okay. David the Valley says, "Morning all from a dry and maybe sunny Rhondda Valley."
Can we read GM's last comment, modders? Because that's quite funny. Ian, we are considering an armoured inflatable device for the rapid recovery of Julian in the event he is disembarked poolside without his consent. This should be a fun watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Joe says, "Good morning / afternoon and evening to all. Hope everyone's feeling well today. Bring on the World War One machine."
Yes. Ian says, "Pre-lubed or already subscribed." Ooh.
Ready for action. Matthew Wagg says, "Good morning."
Moaning. Oh, shit. Tiff says, "Welcome, one and all, to the Austin Armoured car build. Please don't forget to press the like button for us and sit back and enjoy the show." Now, where's that fucking pie gone again? Broke Tiff again.
Well, that's the end of the chat. Oh, no, Graham says, "Afternoon all."
Yeah, I'll have to click because I think Modders is broken. Patrick says, good day all. Hello, Patrick.
Adam says, afternoon all.
Hello, Adam. David says, afternoon, Mickey, and evening, John. Hello. People are saying hello to each other. Ian says, hello, panel and Tiff. There you go. Tiff's recovered now.
Oh, very good.
Trevor says, hi, all. Hello. Oh, and Patrick said, hi, Mikey, John, and Tiff.
Very nice.
That's all the comments so far today.
Well.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be because they're missing Tim and Gary and Waitrose. That's the only explanation, obviously. Let's crack on, shall we?
Sure.
Oh, Tiff says, my sides are hurting from laughing, you bastards.
Stomach's hurting from eating pie.
Part of the problem is she was also doing some decorating yesterday, and her mum was using the sander, and Tiff didn't have a mask on, so she's coughing plaster up.
All right.
So she's probably struggling to breathe as well. In short, we're slowly killing modders with laughter. Adam says Jadlam have shipped his 109. Nice.
Oh, nice.
How did that go so awry? There we go. There we go. Ooh, water. All right. Right, there we go.
Spent an hour or so just trying to find interior photos of an Austin armored car. You can only see one or two of them, but they're from a reproduction, so I don't know whether that's anything to go by.
Yeah.
But he had wooden floors, and I think these are wooden slats.
Oh, post 2 seconds.
Oh.
It's a parcel.
Oh, it's probably that 109 for old mate from Jadlam. Wrong address. Da da dum da dum. So I need to I'll move that away. Paint a couple of things before I continue. I think I need to decide what colour to do the flower, because I'm thinking let's see, it'll be that bit. Now they'll be metal sort of things, but if that's that way, I'm thinking I might do those bits, those horizontal bits, like a wood colour. We shall see. So yeah, pondering.
Okay. It's a parcel. It's got, but it's got my address on it. But it's also got my name written on it in pen. But I don't recognise the address.
Oh, you don't know anyone with a pen license?
No. Can't be M4H. They don't use pens. They use calibration devices. Calibrated measuring devices.
With these ones?
Yes. I need to get one of them actually at some point. Right. And I'm back. GM says, oh, John, if only I had known. I have 30 litres of olive drab in drums at Scone Airfield.
200 kilometre drive with $3 a litre for diesel at the moment. Thank you, idiot.
Sorry, could have given you some avgas. That would have made you fly. Adam says, well, it turns out I actually checked the retail price of the kit I gave Kay, and I started to have a giggle. I don't know. Why? Oh, Ian says, we missed one, modders. Oh, has it released? I bought mine from Alex Mann Shop, supporting the little brick and mortar shops.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. There we go. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Right. Where the hell do that? Oh, yeah, that's where I was up to. GM says, "Don't break Tiff. We don't have a recovery device for her yet." Funnily enough, I said that to her. I said, "Can you please stop dying? We don't have any way of, saving you. And if you die, then we're going to have to kill you." Only joking, YouTube, obviously.
Of course.
It's not a threat. Don't get all uppity. I've built the axle and that and painted them, but I haven't put them on yet because at the minute it's hard enough to have this thing sit on the ground and not tip over and damage anything as it is. At the minute, it's sort of level.
Yeah, it is.
It's not going to come into any harm if I just leave it on the desk. It's not going to tip over or anything. And I need to put on
the Ritz.
Yes. That side. So brake lever. Skiffins is in.
Oh.
Yeah. He says, "Morning all." Hello, Skiffins, darling.
Hello.
How the devil are you? Adam says, "It was £65 when it first came out. Turns out the same price I paid for the coterie kit. I got it in a mystery things for much less. I was hoping she'd like the Wii figure too." She does. She thinks it's very cool, mate. Thank you. She'll enjoy doing that. Julian says, "Hi all." Hello, Julian. Or hooligan, whichever one. Ian says, "I thought Willow was the recovery device. Those claws will wake you up." Yeah, but they can't do the Heimlich or the CPR. Junior says, "Watch your panel." All right, dude.
Oh, cripes.
Matthew says, "Afternoon, Mr. Skiffins." Hello. David says, "Morning, James." And he sounded just like that, honest. Skiffin says, "Knackered and feeling like a hooker after a very busy night." Oh, very. Don't want to know what you've been up to then. Ian says, "Afternoon, Skiffins and Julian." Next. Joe says, "People watching has increased, Mikey. Maybe people still adjusting to time change. Quite possibly." Yeah. Aussie Ian says, "Evening all." And we did end up with 32 likes yesterday, which was really cool. It's a really good stream. Really good result for the stream.
Nice.
Yeah. Aussie Ian says, "Evening all." GM says, "I'm gassing John's car. Only if we remove the catalytic converter first, then some hot U spark plugs. This could be really funny. I'll just grab the camera." Skiffin says, "Parcel should be arriving today, Mikey." Okay. So, could that be the one with Mikey written on it then? That would make sense. Is it from...
shit.
Joe says, "Lazy." Says, I'll just say... Did it have 459, Mikey 459 written on the top of it, James? Because the parcel has just arrived. Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people. Yes, it was. Fantastic, so I can open it then. Cool. And my knife's upstairs. So let's use scalpel. Steve says, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Adam says, oh yeah, I'll have my 4848 parcel soon. I've got mine now. Because Skiffins likes me. Not. Oh, Christ. Tiff says, that one isn't me. Mine will say Bossman on it. Tracking says it's in Peterborough, so probably not delivered today, even though it says delivering today. Okay.
That's so convincing.
I know, right? It's uncanny. You wouldn't think. Adam says, so much for 132 in my life now. Oh, so much 132 in my life. Well, yeah. You do like an older woman. David says, clothes would be like a defib anyway. Yeah, I suppose. They'd certainly shock you. Oh, Christ. Tiff says, I got my patch yesterday. Yeah, it's sexy. Bob says, apologies all. Late due to injury sustained working on disarming. What the hell? Are we going to have to call EOD up to go to your house, Bob? Julian says, not Julian. Mikey, the content of your stream really isn't a subject of interest to me. Oh, YouTube live stream. Gotcha. Ian says, Bob, hi. I'm sure Bob says hi back. Ian says, glad your beast arrived safely. Woohoo! So look at this I got from 4848. How cool is this? A paintbrush holder. So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And then an AK pen holder. And something I've been after for a while, a sprue rack. Which is very cool. Thank you, James. I appreciate that, buddy. And I appreciate your expediency. Ooh. And I got a door hanger. How very cool. That's another box. I got that as well. How cool is that?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Something to keep the lad out of the room when I'm modeling. Well, when I'm model making, should I say. Because that sounds really dodgy. Thank you, James.
Oh.
I got a great price on it too, but that's not the point. Point is, it helped Moles for Heroes.
Super duper.
Jim says, hello to our gracious host. Hello, Jimothy.
Hello, Jim. Scusi. Oh, there we go again.
We're going all Italian today, aren't we? Ian says, yes, Bob, great packing beans worked well. Oh, God. He's not got his packing peanuts and stuff again, has he? Jim says, greetings to all the usual suspects in chat.
Okay. So
Ian
do you
says,
reckon, sorry, question, the inside of the engine compartment,
yes.
do you reckon the insides we painted white or the exterior green?
I think they're probably exterior green. They wouldn't have painted it, bothered painting it white, because these engines threw oil and all sorts over the place.
Okay, yep. Okay.
Julian says, Mikey, that Tiff impression is almost like she's in the room and I have spuds in my ears and I'm stone deaf.
Amazing.
I know, right? It's getting better and better every day. Skipping says, Mikey, wife, thank you for taking that out of the front room. It's all right, buddy. My pleasure.
All right.
I've been after a sprue rack for ages, to be fair. Wow, lots of chat today. It's going good. Ian says those packing beans are a menace after unboxing. Yes. And Bob's a menace with them. Bob says, "Hi GM. How many switches per unit do you think would be acceptable?" Oh dear God.
Oh, you talking about sex changes or?
No.
Oh.
Funnily enough. Should we go for the first talking point?
Why not?
So the first talking point is the Austin armored car was originally designed when Russia decided it needed an armored car for its armed forces. However, it didn't like any of the options on the market, so it approached the British Austin Motor Company in 1914 to ask them to come up with a design specifically for them. And the first order was 48 vehicles on the 29th September 1914.
So that early? Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what I'll do is through the live stream, I'll sprinkle it with little facts and things, which I think would be nice little learning points.
And they, I did read they later improved it, but is that one of your talking points later?
Yeah. So the Russian one was originally the Mark I Austin. The ones the British used were the Mark IIs. So they had different doors on the back and things like that. So let's have a look. Doesn't show it on that. Oh, they've done well. On these schemes, they've showed the fronts, but none of the backs. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so if you look on the back,
the
Mark 1 had doors on it so that you could get out the back. But on the Mark 2s, they got rid of the back doors, which apparently really annoyed the Russian soldiers, because they couldn't get out quickly enough.
Well, I think it'd be a bugger getting out of it regardless.
Well, yeah, because it's quite small, isn't it?
They do have a picture of it open here.
Yeah.
So yeah, open and close. So close is all flat like that, but open, the top one hinges back onto the top, and the lower one just swings out on hinges.
Yeah.
It'll still be a bugger to get through there.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been too much of a problem for the British. Well, it'd been easier than it would be for us, for the British soldiers, because the average height of the British soldiers was only like 5'8" back then. So they were quite short compared to what we are now. Yeah. So I thought that was quite interesting, because I didn't realise that. Dave says, "Bob, what are you building, mate?" Apparently it's their secret weapon that nobody's allowed to know about until they've finished it. It sounds intriguing and slightly dangerous, whatever it is, and may result in Bob being put on some sort of watch list if they keep talking about it online. Junior says, "It's getting better and better every day. I don't think better means what you think it does, Mikey." Well, that's very true. Bob says, "Ian, just be thankful I didn't use the polystyrene balls. Those are a definite menace." Yes, they are. If I ever see another one of them, it would be too soon.
Balls?
Polystyrene ones, yeah. Oh, look at that. Fitted in perfect first time. Just dropped into place. Jem, Bobby, some of the switches are unstable. Already had one premature evacuation. Test it in a tank of nitrogen gas. What the? I found 5 switches would be fine. Any more would be extra wiring and safety fuses. Jesus Christ. I am getting worried about you two. Julian says, Bob, if you have polystyrene balls, you need to see a doctor.
Well, I don't think a doctor really wants to see you, but it's his job, isn't it?
Yeah. Jim says, Joe, I'm sure you've heard about Tiger Woods from last week. He won't be at the Masters next week. No. Bob says, David, Jim and I are collaborating on a weapon of mass amusement. Nearly ready for test, but where to find raw lithium? We won't go down that road. Julian says, on an equally medical point-ish, are crystal balls like a glass chin? When my auntie was pregnant, my auntie and uncle's surname is Ball. And when my auntie was pregnant with my eldest, or my cousin, she wanted to, if it was a girl, she wanted to call it Crystal.
Oh, yes.
And my uncle was like, are you for real? And she was like, yeah, why? He said, think about what your surname is. The kid would be going around called Crystal Ball. So he's like, no, you're not doing that. Luckily, it turned out to be a bloke. So all was good. And he was called Crystal. Oh, no, they called him Stuart. Ian says, is it okay to admit those small polystyrene balls are nice to put your hands into? Is that like an ASMR thing? Matt says, Robert and his weapons-grade plutonium delivery. Are you trying to get him put on a watch list? Joe says, yes, Jim, I'm waiting to see if I can replace him at the bar. I hope he gets himself right. Tiger Woods, I'm taking it. Take it you mean. Jim says, cats love polystyrene balls. Yeah. And if you throw them in it, they look like furry shit. They look like little furry sheep when they come out. Because all the static clings, makes all the balls cling to their fur. Joe, you know you can see a doctor for that premature evacuation. Skiffin says, seems to be full balls and back doors in today's streams.
Well, every stream has a different sponsor. Today's brought to you by balls.
Yes.
And pie.
Pie, yeah. Steak kidney pie. Bob says, those dratted polyballs are still being found by my parrot and vacuum cleaner. Yes, it took me a while to get rid of the bleeding things. The little bleeders. Oh, do come on.
Right.
Trevor says, tip, when I've done my rivets, I cover them with masking tape to cut them off with a sharp knife, which meant they stuck to the masking tape, making it easy to pick up. Ooh, good tip. That is a good tip, actually. David says, okay, bud. Mark Fisher says, Mikey, a few weeks ago I asked if you had any tips about rodent kits. I'm about halfway through the BL 8-inch howitzer. You're right about the lack of location pins. Yeah. It's an annoying habit of rodent not putting them on.
I've not built one. What? I've not built one, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we might have to get you building one. Mark also says, the instructions are vague, quite a few ejector pin and sink marks. I'm constantly going to the Landship's website to check if it's sticking things in the right place. Yeah. They're not the best. Unfortunately. Joe says, it's a free country in, I think. Do it if you like it. Julian, I'm looking at an armored inflatable device to recover you from the poolside. Disembarkation if that were to happen. We could make him a life raft that when it comes into contact with water, it ejects out the back of his wheelchair. Oh, it's going to be one of these crazy streams again, isn't it? Joe says, Joe, I thought Bob's premature evacuation was subject best avoided. Come on, stick you son of a bitch. Karen says, good day, everyone. Been away for a while. You have. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello, Karen.
Hope you're well. Matthew says, this stream is brought to you by Betty Swallocks. Hopefully not. June says, Bob, I think armored and inflatable are mutually exclusive. Not really. You could put armor on an inflatable. It'd just be very wobbly. Joe says, sorry, Julian, couldn't pass on it. I'm a sicko. Julian says, laugh out loud, Joe. Bob says, I do have 100mm polystyrene half bulls too. Another PhD. Bob be crazy. I say that in the most loving respect. As Bob knows. Or I hope he does. Matthew says, it's like Army Intelligence Corps is a contradiction in terms. Yes. Absolutely. So, I'm waiting for this bloody bit to glue. It's taking its time. It's just not setting.
Excuse me.
You are excused. Hold on, play. Ooh. GM says, Joe already saw a doctor about that who referred me to the armored explosive test cell at NASA. Didn't like their coffee. So, random fact 2.
Oh, yes.
Oh, hang on, we've got 2 comments. Got some comments. We'll do them first. Bob says, Julian, please don't blame me for the armored inflatables. That was GM. Julian says, true, Mikey, but wouldn't the armor offset the buoyancy? You might be overthinking just a tad. It depends on how heavy the armor is and how big the inflatable is, really. As long as it displaces more water than the total weight, then it'll still float. Skiffin says, TTFN. See you later, buddy. Or TFN. So, random fact number 2. Design features. Austin Armour car was built on an Austin car chassis. Its armour was initially 3 to 4 millimeters, upgraded to 7 millimeters in Russia after combat feedback. Armament was 2 Maxim machine guns and independent turrets originally. It had a crew of 4 to 5 men. It had an engine, 4-cylinder engine with 50 horsepower in the later series. It could reach dizzying speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. It had a range of 125 miles. And it had wooden spoked wheels with solid tires often fitted in combat zones. So it had pneumatic tires for when it was on the road. And then if it was in the combat zone, they'd fit solid rubber tires.
Right.
I thought that was interesting. Bob says, Bobalicious says, lightweight carbon fiber armor. Yeah, it doesn't have to be steel armor, does it? It could be Kevlar, it could be carbon fiber. Matthew says, I feel another Daily Hedgehog story emerging about Wales's nautical systems being tested. Yeah. I wonder if the lifeboat will go out to people stuck in pools. Because it's technically a water rescue. And they do have inshores, although they might struggle to get it through the doors. I know if it's on pond, if somebody gets stuck in ponds and things, then they send the fire service specialist rescue teams. They've got some impressive kit. Same as the ambulance heart teams. The TBG says, hi everyone. Hello TBG. Julie says, I wonder if 2 layers of Kevlar with a layer of non-Newtonian fluid between them would work. Possibly. I mean, maybe against small arms. Or very small arms, like 9mm or something. I was watching our guy in Colombia last night, and he went to the factory where they make designer body armor. Because in Colombia, they have over 12,000 murders a year. And he actually agreed. One of the things they do is they're that confident in their body armor that the customer can wear it and stand there whilst the owner shoots them in the stomach. So they have confidence in their body armor.
Right.
And he actually did that. So the guy actually stood there and he said, the one rule I have that everyone has to obey is you do not look me in the eye when I'm doing this. He said, because if anything goes wrong, I don't want that image in my head. So he looked away and shot him in the stomach. And he said it just felt like someone tapping him in the stomach because the body armor was that good. With a 38mm. Matthew says, it's technically self-inflicted too, Mikey. Yes, that's true. Bob says, no hedgehogs near inflatables, if you please. Where the hell are the hedgehogs come from? What are they doing in the swimming pool? Bob says, TBG says, oh, for fuck's sake. So, Matthew, does our resident submariner, Captain Julian, identify as a hedgehog? No, knowing Julian, he'll identify as a hodgehog. Tim says, Julian, yeah, I like experimenting with armored inflatables. I did build 6 in a twin-engined aircraft. Worked a treat. Messed the swimming pool up, though. Right, now it's starting to stick. Haha. Joe says, still will give you a hell of a bruise, I would think. Yes. Julian says, Bob, the premature evacuation was explode. Actually, never mind. I retract the question. Do you know what? Why use glue when I can just use plastic putty? That should join it well enough, shouldn't it? There you go. Nobody will ever know. Except for the 21 people watching here.
Now.
There you go. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see. What other facts have we got? Okay. So the first series built in 1914, and there were 48 built. Armoured replaced in Russia with 7mm plates. The second series was built in 1915, of which there were 60 built. It had a stronger chassis, the 50 horsepower engine, and improved turret arcs of fire. Russian workshops added rear driving position. Yes, because I remember reading about that. Because the Russian tactics weren't to sort of use them at a distance and sort of use them tactically whilst the infantry go forwards. The Russian tactics were to just drive at the enemy firing, and if it got too hot, then they just reversed out as quick as possible.
Okay.
So it was easier than turning around. The third series in 1916 had bulletproof glass, revised hull, removed side windows, and Austin Putilov and Austin Kiegress, which is their Russian versions, the ones you're doing, I think. They even converted one into a half-track variant, apparently.
Oh, I saw a photo of that about 2 hours ago.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It's ugly as sin.
Yeah. But it'd make an interesting model. Go on. What are these crazy bunch talking about now? Let's see. The crazy bunch. Kind of like the Brady Bunch, but unrelated. Jim says, Julian, it's controlled gas pressure. A whoosh, not a bang. So what you're saying is he'll go zipping round the pool going like he's doing a really long, slow fart or something. Julian says, I'm not using a hedgehog as a flotation device. The prickles, I'm saying the prickles, not the pricks, would hurt. Thanks. Prickles, spines, the sharp, pointy bits. Yes. And they're really, really small. Matthew says, hedgehogs in submersibles or paddling pools. I think the RSPCA would be upset. Julian, with a shark's fin on his head, it's perfectly okay and probably 0.9% safe. Yeah, probably. Well, as long as we give him a snorkel, he'll be fine. TVG, premature extermination. Oh dear, the Daleks need a software patch, Julian. I mean, Davros. GM says, no hedgehogs were used in any test firings by me anyway. Julian, anyway, do hedgehogs float? Inquiring minds must know. I don't imagine so. Although, maybe.
I don't think there's not many animals sink to the bottom, as far as I'm aware.
I think it'd be more. I think more the problem would be they wouldn't know to swim. So they would sort of just not like it, curl up into a ball, and then maybe sink because they'd drown.
Prepared to carry out testing.
Do you know what? I'm actually going to Google it. Do hedgehogs float? And they've only got little tiny lungs. Yes, hedgehogs can float and are surprisingly good swimmers. Oh.
There you go.
They're often described as nautical transformers or little spiky boats because their quills are hollow and filled with air chambers which create natural buoyancy. Ooh. Now that's interesting. I didn't know that. Jim says, were these armoured cars crewed by British personnel whilst on the Eastern Front? No, they were crewed by, well, they were crewed by the Russians, weren't they? And the Ukrainians and things. or what were Russians back then. Controversy. But yeah. The British didn't really fight on the Eastern Front. British fought on the Western Front, the Middle East and Africa and things. Joe says the Middle East and the near Middle East, as they call Africa, I think. Joe says, I see John using the airbrush. I still have problems with several airbrushes. I'm sure it's not proper thinning. Going to try Smear instead of Vallejo. When I get back from Texas, really annoying. Matthew says, yes, they can swim very well, but they need a ramp to get out of ponds. Yeah. It'd be cool to watch that, because you just see like a little spiky ball just going across the water. I wonder if there's any videos of it on YouTube. So that'd be quite cute, I imagine. Not that I'm suggesting people go throwing hedgehogs in the water to find out. Dave says they can swim very well. Found lots in the paddling pool. Ah. Julian says, Mikey, I'm slightly worried how you would know the size of a hedgehog's prickles. That's just wrong, Julian. On so many levels. Jim says, Joe, for what my advice is worth, try thinning your paint at least 60-40. For thicker paint, I start at 70-30. Practice for a few hours and see what happens. Yeah. It also, we were discussing this yesterday with John, weren't we? It also depends on which of the Vallejo paints it is as well. Depends on how much they need thickening and which colours it is.
Yeah.
How much they need thinning, sorry, not thickening.
I know what you meant, yeah.
I just needed to correct it in my own head, otherwise it's driven me mad. TBG says, yes, hedgehogs float when they drown after falling in a pond and can't get out. Yeah. That would make a horrendous war film, wouldn't it? War parody. Like D-Day or something. Just a load of hedgehogs coming ashore. That's a weird thought. Why did I have that? Julie says, proof number one that I'm not a hedgehog. They can float, I can't. There are other differences too. Matthew says, how do hedgehogs make love? Very carefully. Mikey says, actually, did the primer arrive all okay? Seems to have. I mean, it's not been in the air, so yeah, seems fine. Seems all good in the hood, buddy. Thank you very much. I'm actually looking forward to trying that grey mecha. See if it's better than the normal Vallejo grey primer. And Adam says,
it's got to be. I think anything would be better.
I don't know. I quite like it. It does the job. The only problem I find is, especially when you're building a model that's using light grey plastic, it's very close to that colour. So it's really hard to see where you sprayed. Julian says, no, GM says, Julian, we can use Bob's 100mm polyballs in a life jacket for you. Oh, what we could do is we could get the 100mm, or we could get a load of the polyballs and wrap the hedgehogs in it.
Wow.
And then we could give the hedgehog to Julian to cuddle, and then when we throw him in the water, when we nudge his wheelchair towards the water, he can just cuddle the hedgehog and float around.
When we nudge his wheelchair towards the water, no, that's happening sooner than later. As soon as we get there.
Oh, here's a nice little hedgehog, looking like a little sheep. You cuddle that, Julian, whilst we just... Oh, sorry. Adam says, lovely stuff. VMS light aircraft grey is the same. It's damn hard to see where you have primed, and not unless you angle it in the light. Yes, that's how I have to do it. Julie says, it's just as well World War II wasn't fought against Denmark. The acronym for victory in Denmark Day would be very unfortunate. VD Day. Very good. Oh god. What have I done with that wire now? There it is. Need me tweezers. All right. Shit. That's finally stuck, which is good. Where the hell does that connect to? Oh yeah, the axle. Dope, stupid boy. Can't do that yet. Ain't stuck the axle on. Matthew says, pets at home don't sell piranhas. Most disappointed. Matthew's turning into Wednesday Adams. Bob says, or just stick needles into volleyball halves and pretend they're cyborg hedgehogs. Oh dear. B16. Julian says, when we throw nudge Julian towards the water, eyes Mikey suspiciously. When we accidentally slip with his brakes off. Jim says, water-based acrylics seem to respond best to their own thinners. Yeah. I use water a lot of the time. I very rarely use thinners anymore. Sometimes use a bit of flow improver. Adam says, oh, and in other news, I dragged out my old MacBook out of storage and ordered a camera, so I'm not having to sit on a little phone. Nice. There we go. Let's see. So Jim was asking before about who's driving the Austin on the Eastern Front. So the next talking point is the Eastern Front, highly effective due to open terrain. Became the primary armored car of the Russian army and used extensively in the Russian Civil War by all factions. Limited British use in 1918 on the Western Front and captured examples used across Eastern Europe. There we go. So yeah, so they did use them, but they tended to use them more in the on the Western Front and in the Middle East and things. The British,
yeah,
because they weren't really suited for the type of warfare that the British did on the Western Front. And because they found the tactics that they were using meant that armored cars weren't much use other than just maybe doing the occasional reconnaissance patrol or something, because the terrain was just that bad that they could only really use the roads, whereas the Russians just didn't care. They just drove it at the enemy, and they were using them on like frozen ground and things like that, so it was a lot easier for them. Phil says, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Phil. Adam says, let me suggest UMP Gold Thinner are some with Vallejo, ACM, Hataka, Citadel, AK, and Kaleido paints. Nice. Might try that at some point. Adam says, it works. Yeah. Oop. Ginny says, be back in a bit, calling the Coast Guard. Also, Kara here.
Very good.
Yeah. GM says, was looking at torpedo motors and power packs in Japan. I could build you, Julian, a twin pack pod for the submersible for rapid movement to the shallow end of the pool. Just get one of those little hand underwater machines that just pulls you along as you're swimming. A submersible thing. David says, put my video in reference of the hedgehog in the paddling pool. Nice. That'd be cute. I'm going to have a look at that later. Patrick says, hi, Phil. And Ian says, I need a tablet, not one of those, a bigger screen to watch and type on. Yeah. You can get them on contract now, can't you? Like phone contracts. Jim says, lacquer-based paints of all brands mix well with leveling thinner and rapid thinner, and it's used sparingly, even hardware store brands. Yeah. I tend not to use lacquers. Well, I don't think I've ever used lacquers. Just the idea of the fumes and stuff. It's like, Adam says, can second that, Jim. Leveling and rapid just works. And Gino says, hello, Mikey, John, and Tiff, and all in chat. Hello, Gino.
Hello.
Gino de Campo. Right, so that goes that away. Oh, God damn it. I need to put the axles on. Mm-hmm. Gosh darn it. Tiff says, be right back. Bathroom break. Yeah, go for a slash, I am. Yeah. Drain the main vein. Matthew says, hi, Gino. And Patrick says, hey, Gino. Absolutely not at all taking the pee. No, sir.
Unlike Tiff.
Yeah, she just takes the pee all the time. She is literally taking the pee. David saying, hi, Gino. Well, that was dramatic. Oh, what?
Ah.
Shit. Well, that's annoying. Sure, I'm gonna have to do one in first. Nope, that's not going to work. Joe says, I saw a very interesting video on the A29 Super Tucano, a drone hunting plane. Pretty cool machine.
Super.
Gino says, how are you liking the build so far?
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah. I did watch, somebody had built one of these. I think his name is The Bear as a YouTuber. He's got like 21,000 subscribers or whatever. But he had built one of these as, I think, your kit.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he's saying, you know, oh, it's really good. You know, I might have to get more of these. So, yeah, it looks spectacular. So I think I'm going to go from enjoying it to enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah. I just wish these bloody things. Right. Should have done it properly. Jem says, how are you like them? Oh, Jem says, Jim, interesting. Certain airbrush thinning fluids are in short supply after a UK modeler gave away certain secrets. Yeah. It wasn't me, honest.
I don't know why. That's the thing, because other people have been talking about that for literally years. Like,
yeah.
I can't remember who it was now,
though. It was Moz.
No, I mean the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Might have been, oh, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
All right, I need to make something to fall. Oh, fuck's sake, that's broke off now. God damn it. I need to make something to force them apart.
So what are you playing with at the moment? Force what apart?
trying to get the front axle on. The front suspension is turned slightly inwards. I'm trying to get it to splay apart so that I can glue the bloody thing on is a pain in the ass.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, it means I'm breaking things to do it. So what I might do is scrape some of the paint off there. I can always repaint it.
Now, while I've got the white paint out, I should paint the seats before they go in. So A4 and A3.
Yeah. David says Steph, I think, was on about it some time back and how to make your own, I think. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. But what GM's referring to is there's a specific airbrush cleaner that Moz recommended, and apparently loads of people have started buying it now because it works really well. And it's as a glue. And it's a lot cheaper than Smear Extra Thin.
Yeah. So there you go. So, it just proves that Moz is actually an influencer.
Yeah. Unlike us.
Unlike us.
Yeah. We don't influence people.
No, sir.
We just do the make friends bit. Ooh.
I'll do those later.
Following Ghost is in.
Huh.
He says, "Good morning, everyone." Morning. To you and you and you. Rich says, "Hey guys, how are you doing?" Hey, Rich. Doing well, buddy. Thank you. Be doing even better if I could get this bloody front axle on. TBD says, Mr. Moz tool cleaner. Yes. Jem says, a lot of people now have 30-year supply while I cannot get a single tinlet anywhere. Bless you, buddy. Joe says, 29 people watching. You are influencing 29 knuckleheads. I'm sure we're not influencing them. Not in a positive way, anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is everything's so bloody fragile. There's nowhere where you can grab this really to put any pressure on it. Keep things together without it breaking. Which is the one problem with MiniArt kits.
MiniArt.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bits. I think there's a step to aid entry into the vehicle, and if I put that on now, like the omnibus one, I'll break it off about 10 times during the build, so I'll leave that for later.
Yeah.
I snapped a piece, one of the rods, actuating rods off the chassis a little bit earlier, so I'll fix that later on.
Yeah, getting this axle to stay on is a pain in the ass. Should have put it on before I painted. What I might have to do is leave that to set for a few hours. Because it's just not holding in the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Bet Lucky Marley says, yes, I'm so negatively influenced. Oh, stay still and bloody glue, will you?
Where's my kniffy?
Your kniffy.
That dingus.
Let's try the rear axle. What's that setting? TBG says you need to plan your builds. Yeah. It's not normally an issue putting axles on, but this kit, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. There you go. Back one's on. Back one will go on fine. Just need to scrape some paint off. But again, it just goes to show that we all mess up and make mistakes and things.
I've never been shown to make a mistake.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Paul says, hi, Jim, and hi to all in chat.
Hey, dude.
There you go. Anvil says, hello, Mikey. Is it not sticking because you're sticking paint to paint? No, I've cleaned the paint off the contact points. It's just the chassis is slightly twisted inwards at the front. So the two leaf springs are slightly too close together. So I need to twist them out, but it's just not, the joint isn't quite strong enough to hold whilst I twist it out and then stick it the other side on properly. The back end's gone on fine. But it's just because it's quite fragile, there's no way to clamp it on without risking breaking things.
So, next.
Which is a royal pain in the butt. Matthew says, hi, Mr. Pobby. Are you going to get one of these kits and join in? I doubt it.
I can hear him swearing from here.
You'll cause him to have a stroke, accusing him of doing such things. He won't thank you for that. Which way does it go? Goes that way. No, it doesn't go that way. Jim says, I already have 12 months supply of normal liquid glues. Japan manufacturers will not make extra amounts to cover the surge in demand. Costs will go up, however. Good on you, Moss.
Good on you, Moss.
Yeah. Supply and demand is how it works.
Now,
I think I see what's happened. 2G says, yes, Nodge, it's your fault when any of us glues a part on backwards. We've done a Marley. If it's upside down, we've done a monkey after plastic monkey.
You know, the thing is, when it happened, I already had international recognition because of this stream. It happened, you know, at the same time around. It's like, you know, the wing fit that was heard all around the world. But it came up a number of times during the 48 and 48 as well. You know, Nodge, backwards Marley, you know, all that. Oh, hey.
You've started a thing.
It's funny.
What the hell?
So while I've got the airbrush out, there's a couple of, well, 3 or 4 things on the biggin that I'm going to paint. Yes, I've started the biggin. This is the first bit of work on it, actually.
The vegan.
Saab vegan.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's not right. Pretty sure that shouldn't stick out so far. Right, that slots into there like that. Just like that. There you go. Arville says, "Oh, okay. What's the fix for that? Do you think? Patience and perseverance."
Hey, see how I go.
Yes. You've been watching Aladdin?
No.
Yeah. If I can just keep that roughly in line, then that should set, and I can move it into position. June says, "Puzzle. Did I come back to a parallel universe? Nodge doesn't put anything on backwards."
It's a lie. No. Dirty stinking lie.
Jim says, "TBG, don't forget Shelfie." Laugh out loud. Yeah. Paul says, "Sorry, Matt, but no, I'm not a prolific modeler as John." Arville says, "Nodge puts things on Stradrocab."
Well played, sir.
Straw cab. TBD says, "Not had any shells fall on me, Gary." Paul says, "Sorry, typo. I meant to say I'm not as pathetic a modeler as John." Harsh.
But fair. I've always maintained that Paul's a better modeler than I.
Yeah. Ooh, we're on 26 likes and 31 watching. Sweet.
Alabama.
The next fact is one of the most successful armored. This was one of the most successful armored cars of World War One. A rare example of British vehicles built for a foreign army. Twin turret layout gave it exceptional fire coverage, and influenced early Russian mechanized doctrine, supported by its widespread use and central role. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, their tactic was literally just to drive at the enemy, and then if it got too much, the guy in the back just took over and drove them out. Which you see in a lot of World War II reconnaissance vehicles as well. The ability to do that.
Yeah.
Both German and British vehicles.
Yeah, Panzer Spar wagons and all sorts of stuff. Dingoes, maybe?
Yeah, I think dingoes. TBD says, "I think John should persuade Paul to build a Hamden." And Paul says, "I agree." There you go, John. That's your challenge.
No. I don't have enough time for that.
Don't have enough time for that silliness. Julian says, "So, if you put a mast on a ship upside down and backwards, what happens? Does the model verse implode?" No, it just falls over, I imagine. I imagine they taper towards the top.
Yeah, but say backwards. Well, it really depends, because the masts can go any way you like, but of course the tops do not.
No, sir. What the hell has happened here? So I think what I'm going to have to do, I've done this before because I had a problem with vehicle suspension being towed in too much.
Right.
So what I've done before is cut a cocktail stick to the right length, just the right length to force them apart to the distance I need. And then put that in and then glued it and then took the cocktail stick out when it's set. So I think I might have to do that. Where's my cutters?
I'm spending most of this session at the booth.
That's all right. Jim says, "I think I'll go inflate something. Launching hatches into therapeutic. Whoosh, bang, woohoo!" I still think we should make an emergency deployable raft on the back of Julian's wheelchair. Or underneath, so that when he hits the water, he just goes, poof, but then he runs the risk of it inflating and holding him upside down, which isn't quite as useful.
Yeah, but imagine the laughs.
Well, yeah. All the kids in the pool just think it's an inflatable pool toy thing. And they'll just start jumping up and down on it. Jim says, I agree. You agree to build a Hamden pool. You heard it here first, folks, in public and in writing. Paul says, no, I agree that I'm a better modeler than John. Well, that's just harsh, in my opinion. John's got talent. And he's not at all modest about it either.
Oh, I'm sorry. My head's getting larger.
I couldn't hear you over your mediocrity.
I knew me before I was famous.
Yes.
Ah, poo. Oh, no, that'll do. There we go.
Tiff says, be right back. Phone call. Yeah. 0800 number it is. Those women don't half like to talk, especially when they're doing their ironing. They make some funny noises. Joe says, the cocktail stick from the martini you were drinking. I don't drink martinis. How rude. I only drink Welsh whiskey or stout. On principle. Yes, gentlemen, I have principles. Not many, but they're there. Shit. That was not helpful. Okay. So put it like that. Put it like that. Julian says, John's Got Talent, the less successful spin-off of Britain's Got Talent. Yeah, it's only for people called John. Oh, right, so that's the correct distance now. Now I've just got to glue the bloody thing. Oops. Bob says, could a breathing scuba type tube be attached to an inflatable float for prolonged inverted submersion? Yeah. In fact, what you could do is if you had an oxygen tank on the underneath of the seat, then when it inflated it, the oxygen tank would be between the seat and the life raft. So if he was upside down, it wouldn't matter. He could just breathe in it and just start swinging, sort of paddling in his arms. Although he's only got one arm that works, so it'd be sort of paddling in circles to get to the other end. Yeah, good idea. Joe says, you need a glue holder, Mikey? Probably. Chip says, Julian, inflatables front, back, both sides, twin torpedo pods for motion. Those pull pod things are too slow. You need military motion. Sounds like we're coming up with some plans here. And Jim says, hang on. There you go. Mini oxygen tanks from ejection seats will do for Julian. Yes, they'll do. Perfect. Matthew, serious thought, if we all start using low-odor airbrush thinner, will that cause less glue fumes fueled misgluing accidents? No more Marleys. So what you're saying is John makes these mistakes because he's high. Oh, I might be able to clamp that. And Tiff says, I'm back. Welcome back. Says, hey, you guys. There you go. Oh, that's nice and square as well now. Wonderful. Finally got it sorted with my little cocktail stick trick.
Lovely.
It works. Cut length of cocktail stick the right size, and it forces the two sides apart. And then it just holds it in place whilst it glues.
So did you have trouble getting your radiator between the chassis racks?
No.
I would have thought that would be the correct gauge of width, wouldn't you?
Well, you would, wouldn't you? But it's not. It's slightly... They need to be slightly wider apart than that.
So I haven't put my front axle on yet. That'll happen in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Now, what do we need to do? Excuse me. Sorry.
Said, now then, I know I bear more than a passing resemblance to a crash test dummy, but really? Oh, yeah. We could paint Julian yellow and put a hazard tape, hazard circle on his head. We could call him Crash Test Julian. James says spray booth extraction fans should be in use here. Yes. John does use them, but the sound cancellation is quite good on StreamYard, so you can't hear them.
Yeah, this is an actual spray booth being vented outside.
Yes. And of course, what you can't see off camera is that he's absolutely wearing a mask. Aren't you, John? It's just he takes it off before he changes the camera.
Something like that.
Yeah. Health and safety, baby. TBG says, fit an ejection seat to Julian's wheelchair. Now there's a good idea. Could you imagine? Oh. Julian's just... Julian's just going down the street and accidentally presses the button. It just shoots up in the air in the middle of the high street. Sorry, Julian.
Now seen heading towards Belgium, screaming, "You bastards!"
No, it was more, "You bastards!
You bastards! I'll get you, butler!"
Julian says, that's an idea. Bob, spray booth extraction fan on backwards for oxygen supply. I'm not sure it'd work because it wouldn't compress the air. It'd just move it. It's when you're underwater, you've got pressure differential. So you need more pressure to force the air through the tube. Maybe we could invent... we could do a self-righting mechanism for it. Not sure how that would work, though. So at the minute, we've decided that Julian's got an emergency life raft that fires when, or activates when it hits water. But if it activates upside down, then he's just going to sort of sit strapped to his wheelchair upside down underneath this raft and float around whilst waiting for help to come. Whilst the kids use the life raft as a trampoline. Jim says, I'm drawing up a recovery system for submersible wheelchairs, Julian. Oxy bottles, not ejection seats. Jim says, think I can feel the love, or is that indigestion? Absolutely.
Probably indigestion.
Yeah. That's just so funny. The thought of Julian going down the high street and then just catching the button and just go boop. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but it's TBD says BVC's very own Buster the crash test dummy. Yeah. Gino says, if Julian lands on the Belgian coast, I can pick him up and bring him back to you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah. Julian says, GM, you're putting the locks on my wheelchair? Lucky I don't smoke. Well, what it also means, Julian, is if you want to go faster, you could just open the valve and the air will just force you down the road quicker. Oh, we could stick a little jet engine on the back so they can go faster towards the water. I have not got much done today. Not happy with how little progress I've made. I'm rather annoyed with myself, to be honest. But hey, I'm having fun. That's what matters. Coming up with plans for how we can rescue Julian from the swimming pools and things.
So I've got my big day out in Sydney tomorrow.
Ooh.
See how that goes.
Is that like Baby's Big Day Out, where you arrive at the train station or something, and then you just end up getting kidnapped and taken, or end up going in all sorts of little adventures? Like you get an attack.
Heading to Hobbyco, but then I don't know. I don't have to be back in
ever.
Well, no, I mean, I could go into town and cross the harbour bridge and all that sort of stuff. It's always good.
You could take some photos for us so we can see.
I could.
You could do some selfies. Pretend to be a tourist for the day.
If only there was somewhere to post them.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, something begin with D. GM says, Julian, dry breathing oxygen. Locks needs a license. That's a problem. Well, what you could do is use some divers tanks. You could stick one of them on the back. Jim says, Julian, you would need safety labels on your wheelchair if locks is fitted. Yeah. Jim says, Nick's on the jet engine, Mikey. Nitro brings a new meaning to combustion. Mind you, so does farting. Do jet engine, mate. There is actually a jet-powered wheelchair. I can't remember what its top speed was. Well, when I was doing my A-levels, I researched it because I did my A-level engineering paper on coursework on the jet engine.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't want a powered wheelchair. I want a jet-powered wheelchair. There we go. Gas turbine wheelchair at Rougham RC Plains. Nice. Top speeds of more than 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour in a wheelchair.
Adequate.
Jim says, ejection seats have very small oxy bottles, size of a thermostat flask. Yeah. Just enough to give them oxygen whilst they're at high altitude.
Above 10,000 feet.
Right. Well, I've got the axles on. And I think I'm just going to have to leave them for a while to set so that the joint's strong enough to support itself. Johnny says gem labels would work like Intel inside. Just mine would say Egerton outside. Jim says, ask Colin Furs. Yeah. He makes some crazy stuff. Right, so the next step, I need to actually mark out the bits that I've done.
All right.
Need to do that one. No. Right. So you know these side panels, John? Are you spraying them before you put them on?
Yeah.
In step 21.
Yeah. Yes, because I won't be able to get to the back of them otherwise.
Yeah, true.
Meaning, so for instance, where it goes on, so it drops down that way, like that. I flip that over. There's a gap beside the chassis rail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I didn't have to paint the front, but certainly the back. I thought I might as well do the lot.
Why not?
We shall see.
Yeah. I'm not happy with, the headlight rail in front of the radio. I'm not happy with how flimsy that is. It's already broken 2 or 3 times. And it's got to hold the weight of a bloody headlight on it.
Yes. Damn it. I was going to paint if I thought of it, the back end of the headlight.
Yeah.
In the same olive. It doesn't have to be olive, but I figure it might as well be. Right. Now I broke a thing off. Where's my little rod? Not a euphemism.
What step are you up to now, John?
Well, 19. So fitting the front steering rack and
so you haven't put the panels on yet, then?
No.
Okay, so we're up to the same stage then. Well, I'm partway through 20.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not behind then, which is cool.
No, you're not behind.
Makes a change. Still a lot to do. But, GM says, how did the words go from thermos to thermostat? I have no idea. Drew says, GM, that would be unproductive flex. Auto coconut getting in wrong as usual. Yes, darn that auto coconut. Right. So what I could do is paint the handbrake lever. Or the clutch lever, whatever it bloody is.
Oh.
Handbrake, I'd say. Ooh.
There we are.
Is it time for another random fact about the Austin? Let's see.
I would have thought so. Austin.
So the Russian name was the Ronyevtomobile Austin. Ronyevtomobile Austin. Early Austins had their armor completely replaced upon arrival in Russia. The Austin became the backbone of Russian armored car units, half-track versions, or otherwise known as the Austin Kigres, were used well into the 1920s.
Yeah. I was reading, they're used by both both White Russia and Red Russia. And, after the revolution, Ukraine was operating them, And then, of course, USSR sort of basically invaded them and took them over and stuff like that. So they continued to use them.
Yeah.
So they're fighting the White Russians, the Red Russians, and all Russians. Wonder how that turned out. I'm building one of them, as it seems. So, one of the Cossacks, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, Cossack version.
Right.
We've now got some discussion about coconuts.
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
Jim says, I need new coconuts then. Sounds like a euphemism.
Back in a moment.
So go on. Bob says, but are you getting your coconuts from Mercia? And Ian says, you've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Oh, thank you. Joe says, a coconut's just big hairy bottle, never mind. Very good, Julian. Glad you stopped yourself. Right. Don't need that. Don't need stabby. Bob says, must they be horse coconuts?
And I'm back.
Hello. Welcome back. How the devil are you?
Good. Now that I have another beer.
Oh.
What is that? Crops. I left.
Let's paint
the thing over there. Let's put that back here. Excuse me.
Good thing is if you paint on these kits, if you paint everything black to start with, then with black primer, then you can just do your metal colours and stuff over the top anyway.
Yeah. So let's go.
It's only when we get to doing the body panels and stuff that we need to look at using other colours.
Yeah. So, I've painted just that's an RWF brown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can imagine these sort of colours would be on, say, RAF aircraft and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like in,
during the war.
During the war and all. But I've just used that as a basis for when I throw this all together. But yeah, most of the interior is painted up already, so I don't need to fap around with that.
Nice.
And obviously, all the wood would be. I'll use that as a basis for wood effects. But generally, I don't think it says painted olive floor, but I don't think it would be. I think it would have been white too.
The walls were like off-white colour or white colour.
Yeah.
And then the floors were wooden.
So yeah, that's the look I'm going for anyway. No one can tell me I'm wrong because I searched the internet and couldn't find any photos.
I found some of the wooden floor.
Yeah, so as did I, but it was only a reconstruction of one.
I think I found an old one as well. Let's have a butcher's hook.
Come on.
I did find a cool video, original footage of the Austin armoured cars being driven around and stuff during the war. That was quite cool. I hate typing left-handed. No, I can't find it now. Pardon me. Well, what are they talking about now? Julian says, Bob, you mean horse chestnuts? What grow, oddly enough, on a horse chestnut tree? There'd be conkers. GM says, well, it's been a very productive session. The panel are progressing build-wise. I have new rough drawings for the Julian H2O recovery system with power packs. Now I need coconuts. Is that so that you can wear them as a bikini? Julian says, he'll get his coat. You don't need a coat, you need a life jacket. We know that. 2G says, the Knights of BBC. Coconuts, check. Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch, check. Julian, check. Oh, hang on. Where is he? Upside down in the pool, apparently. Matthew says, Julian, check your pockets for lead weight first. Don't tell me you're putting lead weights in Julian's pockets so he'll sink faster. That's not fair. Julian says, oh, there's a thought. Empty coconuts float. And if I get bored, I can smack them together and do horse impressions. Win! GM says, Julian, I've already got my coat. Opening the door, leaving the building. Very good. We have some properly random conversations on here, and I love it. It's fun. There you go. Oh, shit. Right. Matthew says, BBC coach party to Bangor swimming baths. Okay. So let's have a look. Comparison section: Austin versus other World War I armored cars. Feature Austin Rolls-Royce, Lanchester, and the Sheffield Simplex. Primary users.
Heard of the Sheffield Simplex?
Yeah. In fact, I'm sure there's a picture of that in the book. I shall look it up for you now, John, so you can see. In fact, it should be in the glossary. Sheffield Simplex 138 to 141. 138. There you go. The Sheffield Simplex.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically just a really boxy armored car.
Yeah, well, they all are, aren't they?
Yeah. There you go. Oh, coincidentally, that's pretty much where I got up to with reading. GM says, coconuts also double up as throwing things, Mikey. Duck. No, they don't double up as ducks, mate. Bob says, I thought coconuts were shy. Haha. Very good. Yeah, primary Russia for the Austin was Russia and Britain. Rolls-Royce, Lanchester and Sheffields were British used. Primarily. Jesus Christ, get your words out. Armaments was 2 Maxim machine guns. On the Lanchester, it was a single Vickers machine gun. Same on the Sheffield Simplex. The armour on the Austin was 7mm. The arm on the Lanchester 4x2 was 8mm, and the Sheffield Simplex was 6 to 8mm. And the Austin was actually one of the slower armoured cars. So the Austin was 35 mile an hour, Rolls Royce was 45, Lanchester 50, and the Sheffield Simplex 20. The chassis was a civilian Austin for the Austin Armour car. The chassis for the Rolls Royce was a Rolls Royce Silver Ghost chassis, which is nice. Lanchester touring car and a heavy bespoke chassis. Yeah. So with the Sheffield Simplex and things like that, I think it, from what I remember, it came under, you know, in the First World War, a lot of local lords and stuff raised their own battalions and things.
Yes.
One of the things that some of them did was they commissioned local engineering companies to make them armored cars for their battalions and things. So I think that's where Sheffield Simplex sort of fell into it, rather than being something the state was making. So the weakness with the Austin was it had an overloaded chassis. Weakness for the Lanchester was light armor, and the Sheffield Simplex was very slow. Yeah. Out. The main theatre for, or the best theatre, it says, main theatre, Eastern Front, Middle East, Western Front, and reconnaissance static defence. So the Austin, out of the three, had the best firepower because it had twin turrets. Rolls-Royce had the most reliability and mobility. Lanchester had the best speed, used for heavily for reconnaissance. The Sheffield Simplex had good armor, but it was too slow for mobile warfare. And the Austin was purpose-built for Russian needs, unlike the others. There we go. Hopefully that was of interest.
It is.
Good. Jem says, Bobby, how big a horse chestnut then? Not that big. Bob says that Simplex looks like it runs on small children, or at least eats them. It was basically just a car with some square armored plate bolted onto the body and the roof. Because if you look at the, didn't show it very clear because the camera wasn't focused properly, but what was it? 138141. Yeah. So if I move that out of the way, there you go. I can zoom in. So it's literally they've just took a car and just bolted some flat plate to it. By the look of it, and it's got airflow vents on top for cooling. Yeah, they came up with some really interesting designs. Who thought of that? Sticking a propeller on the back of the bloody thing. The wind wagon, it was called.
Yeah, so that was used for blowing across Ethiopian deserts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Came with they made a trailer for it for the Rolls Royce, so it can pull the guns.
All right. How are we going? 10 minutes.
Yeah. Look at that one.
Is it just one sheet of metal at the front?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it had 10 horsepower. And then there's that thing. The Armoured Ival tractor marked with a red cross with the rear shield partly open.
Cripes.
And then they had Armstrong Whitworth. armoured car outside the Ellswick works noticed a similarity between its front wheels and those on the gun. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting one. The Drigg Schroeder automatic cannon mounted onto a special Maudsley demonstration vehicle. You fire that and the vehicle suddenly accelerates. That's another cool one. Looks like a giant water tank.
Sure does.
Fowler armoured locomotive. That's a cool picture. Even though it's stuck in mud. Rolls-Royce in Arras, 1917. Which is why they didn't use armoured cars too much off-road.
Because they're heavy.
Yes, they're heavy and they've only got a small surface area in contact with the ground. So they sink. Julian says, laugh my ass off, Matthew. I have an image in my head of Barnes Wallace testing the bouncing bomb, the National Physical Laboratory in Teddington. Jem says, that was horse coconut. TBG says, about the size of Julian before he's been soaked in water, Gary. Why, does he shrink when he's soaked in water? Matthew says, yes, the boys at Farnborough are working on it, not to mention Portnam Down too. Yeah. Jem says, does Julian swell when wet?
Let's find out.
Like one of those dinosaurs that you got when you were a kid, you put it in water and it grows. Julian says, TBG, you were not supposed to get me wet or feed me after midnight either. TBG, so there's multiple Julians. Oh, God. Julian, question. Have you ever been talking to yourself, realized you weren't listening, so had to start again? Yes. Jim, I only have plans for one Julian recovery machine, not multiples. You never know. Might need one. Need more. Yeah, need more than one. TBG says, food source, Gary. Julian, no TBG, there's only one of me. You've heard the phrase, they broke the mold after him. In my case, I think it was on purpose. Jim, Colin Furr's motorized pram had 10 horsepower motor, record holder now. Yeah. Joe, well, hopefully I can catch the stream's videos where we are headed to in Nowhere, Alice, Texas. Might not have. Oh, might not have service there. Yeah. Adam says, I was meant to mention during Moz stream last night when y'all were talking about different media and such. Other than my history masters, I have an audio engineering degree, so that probably would help. Yeah, it would. I imagine. So does that mean you're going to be starting a Jockanese podcast? It just sounds like it's just like three blokes just shouting at each other drunkenly. Joe says, take care, all peoples. See you later, buddy. June says, how do you know if a chestnut is horse? They don't speak. Or they whinny.
Okay.
Adam says, three blokes, that's just my three personalities. Jim says, Joe, no way. Lol. Matthew says, Rabsy Nesbitt builds models. Oh, still game. Such a good viewer. Yeah. So I've not done as bad as I thought I'd done then.
No. So I've just put the side skirts on, so that's step 22 for me.
Yeah.
Showing here. So yeah, so I managed to get the front and rear axles on, and side skirts. What else? That's about it, really. On that, Now, I did find I had to trim the drive shaft slightly for it to fit. Did you have that problem?
Yeah, the little stud at the end was a bit too long, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I just sliced it.
Yeah.
Now it fits well.
Yeah, just take like a couple of mil off the end, and
yeah. Yeah. There we go. It's going to be difficult to pick up now because you'd want to pick it up from those green bits, but there's not much holding them front and back, as you can see.
Yeah. So this is the thing, isn't it? Everything with this model is fragile.
Yeah.
With these models.
So what else? Yeah. So as I was saying before, I had also painted the interior. So let's just drop that into place and see how that looks. That one then. It's a bit of a wangle to get this front bit in. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Just get it right up under.
Right up under the Yaris.
The pedals, but then the gear levers need to drop through the hole. There we go. So that fits. Once it's on, it fits very, very well. And of course, that bit will go over the rear steering wheel, steering rack, rod.
It's all very well designed, but it's all very fragile.
It's a bit of a finagle to get it in. But come on. Oh, so close. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so it goes in like that. So underneath it'll be. Yeah. Oh, let me get rid of this because it's a bit just washing it out a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've still got brown there. I need to sort of, as I said, go do some wood effects, and that's the top of it.
Nice.
So I'll keep that on there just to guide everything as it glues.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's sitting there separate parts for that lower screen and the floor, the chassis there.
Yeah,
like it fits with exactly it's like a couple of thou. It's very nice. I don't know how they engineer these things, but they do it very well.
Yeah, hopefully the my chassis will stay straight now that it's glued in place.
There we go. So yeah, that'll sit there happily for another week.
Excellent. Yeah. TBG says a degree is just a piece of paper or protractor. Yeah. Gem, the 3 degrees, nice ladies. Julian, reminds me of a Christmas song. Just one question. Who is Chet and why was he Rose? Never mind. Ian says, I would study for a degree, but I have no inclination. I wanted to do a degree. I wanted to be a teacher, actually, when I was in school. Then I realized I don't like people. Well, I don't like kids that aren't mine. Julian says, laugh out loud, Ian. GM says, I have several degrees, but they don't pay much. And Gina says, thanks for the stream, guys.
I don't have a degree. The highest certificate I've got is an advanced diploma.
Yeah, I've got a diploma and I've got 2 City and Guilds. I've got 2 A levels and 9 GCSEs. 2 City and Guilds? Yeah. 2 City and Guilds, then level 3 City or entry level 3 City and Guilds as well. Yeah. But yeah, I do want to do. I wouldn't mind doing a degree, like a history degree or something like that. It's just I'm not paying just to read books that I can read at home anyway. Adam says it was free to do the masters, so it was kind of dumb not to follow it through. Well, yeah, might as well. But how's that working out for you?
It's beautiful.
Julian says, I have 2 degrees that earn me precisely Sorrel. Yeah. See, this is the thing. You spend thousands of pounds doing degrees and then not being able to do anything with them. Joe says, an advanced planner. Love it. Ian says, Nanu. Adam says, well, I'm technically in debt, but I'm not really. I pay back like £2 a month and it gets wiped at 60. Yeah. GM says, I have an SSC school swimming certificate. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Right, that's us done for today. Do you like a hoodie, John?
Oh, yeah.
New merch with Beardy on it. Yes. Modders has got the link on it. It's also got writing on I've actually put writing on the back as well, but you just can't see it because I can't turn around that far. Yeah. Modders has got a link from some T-shirt studios. Adam says, and that is why everyone on their kangaroo ends up studying in Scottish units. Enjoy, boys. Yeah, I think we have free university or supported university in Wales as well. Anyway, that's just done for today. We've got the members or Corporal's Mess live stream tomorrow, 12 o'clock UK time. John's going to be away for that, so you'll be stuck with me and Modders. But yeah, do join us 12 till 2. If you're not a corporal and but you have another level membership, then you'll be able to watch it back afterwards. But other than that, those are our channel members. We'll be back on Thursday 12 till 2 with the final episode of the Tornado build.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be fun. So until then, Hulvar for now.
Hooray.